Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to what is arguably the main event of the day, the men's 3000 metre final.
Oh, there appears to be a woman also in the race.
There is also a female who will be taking part today, and that's not uncommon in longer races. Sometimes women do like to get involved, and why shouldn't they? Looks like we're ready to go, but as you can probably see, the track hasn't quite been prepared. The groundsmen do a very good job here, and there's not many of them, and they're just taking their time clearing the hurdles away as we get ready. And there is no rush. It could be a bit of an awkward moment here, as the starter was about to set them off, and that would have been really quite embarrassing. Just a quick rundown of some of the athletes involved today. There's Peter Matthews over there making his first competitive outing, realistically since he ran a 5k PB in Armagh. Of course, you remember Peter, he was the one that famously dropped out of the Bucks A race just days before that superb run in Armagh. A lot of controversy resulted in quite a heated exchange between himself and the then cross-country captain Ben Snowball. Also over there, the most talented athlete in the country probably at the moment, Andrew Mariani. So much promise. 3:54, 1500 metres. 21 years old now.
Stepping up to the 3Ks, not usually.
Well, Steve, his PB's 9:05, as we all remember that evening, famous evening now, which I believe you were involved in, just nearly 12 months ago. Difficult week for Andrew then. Also involved is David Rigby, fresh from a pretty disappointing 800 metre performance, if we're honest, 2:05, but I've been speaking to David and he says that his training's been very much geared to the longer stuff, so it'll be really interesting to see how he goes today. Also over there, Jamie Knapp, 8:52 personal best. Not quite in that shape, but we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated.
Oh,
throughout
Stephen
the race.
Bennett just in the back of shot there. Ran a superb 800 metre earlier today, 1:52.7. He'll also be going later in the 15. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, Steve Bennett. Really good to see Steve Bennett starting to get some results. He's had a pretty difficult time in the sport, what with being a ginger. And I think UK Athletics have really grasped that discrimination. So we're ready to go here with the 3000 metres. Over to the starter.
And we're away.
So quite a small group. Viewers from last year will remember a group of nearly 20 athletes towing the line. Not that many today, but hopefully we'll have a high quality race. They're all similar in standard, and I know that the pace they've asked for is pretty quick, but nobody really seems willing to go with these two Oxford athletes.
They certainly appear to have gone off.
So there's the four Loughborough athletes just tucked in there. Mariani, Knapp, Rigby, Matthews, as they go through in a 37, and that really is a very slow start, Steve.
Yeah, it's concerning. I mean, the Oxford guys did go through, I think it's Oxford, maybe Cambridge, in a 34, which you feel could be quite aggressive.
It's quite an aggressive start, but 37, you do sort of wonder what their hopes are, because that isn't going to deliver the sort of time that any of these athletes are asked for. Just to keep you in mind, the Bucks qualifying standard is 8:57, so
it's a 65 through 400. That is
a little ambitious, we're not going to lie. And I have just had confirmation, Steve, that they are both Oxford athletes, so worth keeping in mind. So that is 75 for the four Loughborough athletes. Pretty even pace first 400, but 3k is a distance you've got to crack on with, and this is very slow indeed from them. But these Oxford guys, as you can see, they're already looking a little bit uncomfortable, and the lad just dropping off the pace a little bit. It does look like he's working a little bit too hard. It's 1:38 through 600, which is quite ambitious.
Loughborough guys all
a little bit of controversy there. David Rigby does not look comfortable at all, actually, you have to say. Perhaps feeling that 800 from earlier on as Andrew Mariani starts to take it on, and that's always worrying from a 1500 competitor, because this is going to feel very slow, but he is the most talented athlete in the country, so I'll tell you what, there's danger of a lapping if this goes on. do they go in 800 in? Around about 2:10, so they've maintained the pace, Steve. So, Mariani, Matthews, Knapp, Rigby. Still looking fairly smooth, but David Rigby does look like his stride is being chopped a little and he's not happy. Mariani is looking more and more comfortable as the race goes on, and that's not unusual, but to be frank, the pace with which they've run the first 800 metres, you would expect a lot better. They are going to be outside 3 minutes of the first K as the Oxford leader goes through in 2:43.19, which is pretty good running if he can hold on to that. As Mariani comes
Come on, lads!
through now, he's starting to break this pace up. Matthews is looking pretty calm there, but as they go through in 3:02,
he's got to be slightly concerned with that. I am aware he has to run 8:57 today in order to achieve the Bucks qualifying standard.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Steve, at the moment, unless they get a shift on, it's not happening. You do wonder, there's a high quality race that's been laid on for them today, and you do have to question Pete Matthews' mentality going into this. David Rigby is in all sorts of difficulty. But as we come down, and this leader here does look like this race is going to be sewn up and quite easily won. As Andrew Mariani starts to feel it a bit, and Pete Matthews...
They've closed back onto the back.
Yeah, it just looked a little bit like there. Andrew Mariani was starting to get a bit of a gap, and I think Matthews was just a little concerned. And this young man from Owls Leicester, not far from home, if he carries on like this, he will be caught by the Loughborough contingent, these three here. David Rigby, as I said,
Come on, guys!
not having a good day. Mariani, Matthews and Knapp is a threat. He's just under a mile to go now.
What's the leader on?
The leader is coming through to take 4:24 there.
I'm not sure what that means.
To be honest, Steve, neither am I, but I can tell you that in a lapse time he will be at 2K, so read into that what you will.
And the Loughborough athletes closing on third place.
Third place, they're going through there, lapping, as I say, around about 22 seconds behind the leader now, and that gap doesn't look like it's closing. This young man looking very, very comfortable, very, very confident, good stride. As Mariani takes him around, and it looks like these two athletes now are starting to break away from Jamie Knapp. Knapp just struggling to stay in touch here, just struggling to hold on. You can sort of sense that Mariani is wanting to push this on, wanting to move things on. Pete Matthews
seems
still very comfortable to follow there, but I tell you what, Steve, Matthews will be very, very aware that Mariani is a 1500 metre specialist, and he will have a fast closing pace. So through 2K in round about 5:35 for the leader. Mariani looks keen to get away here. This is going to be 2K for them. It is probably going to be just inside 6 minutes, which is pretty impressive last kilometre. They have pushed it on from the 3:02 first K, remember. But not drastically, because that is 6 minutes. So this isn't quick enough.
To do.
This
and Matthews has pushed past.
Pete Matthews has said that's enough. Pete Matthews, this was always part of his plan. He always said...
he's gone.
He's gone, it's over. He is gone here, and Mariani looks like, well, to be honest, he's just done a lot of work for Pete Matthews there, because Matthews needs to get a shift on. This kilometre needs to be round about 2:56.
Come on, Pete!
If he's going to qualify.
Come on, Mariani!
Mariani has nothing. He can't go with it. 800 metres to go.
Come on, Nat!
6:36 on the clock as the leader.
He needs a
strides out.
2:21.
He's nearly 200 metres clear of the rest of the field. It's been a really impressive performance from this young man. He's led from gun to tape. He's been all on his own, and frankly, he's maintained a pretty impressive tempo. But look at the damage that Pete Matthews has done to Andrew Mariani, and that has come in less than 400 metres.
He is looking good, the young man from Blackburn.
All the jokes, I mean, he has been a national joke for the past 12 months. I think everybody will agree with that.
Let's give a lap split for the leader.
So, they're coming down. This is the bell. The leader is going to take the bell. 7:17.78.
Let's return to...
As we return to the key battle, Pete Matthews is really stretching now, and he's really going to have to keep working hard if he wants this. This is not going to be easy. This is going to hurt Pete Matthews.
Come on, Pete!
He's looking pretty comfortable. He seems okay. This is going to be 7:43, so he should be okay for the time.
Come on, Mariani!
Mariani is going to be rewarded with a good PB. He might just get inside that 9-minute barrier as well, which so many athletes want to break.
Come on, Nat!
Jamie Knapp struggling, but he's on his way back, and it's good to see. Meanwhile, bad day for David Rigby, if we're honest. Pete Matthews striding out, stretching, but
leader.
It's a good victory, and this has been a very, very impressive performance from this young man. From gun to tape, he's led. He's capable of a lot better. 8:20 I've got for him, maybe just under.
Good runner. Good runner.
A very good run. Indeed. It was actually quicker than the winning time last year in a much more competitive race.
Come on, Pete!
Here comes Pete Matthews as 8:40 just goes by on the watch, and he's going to be just outside 8:50, I believe. A very good performance. Pete Matthews knows that he's done enough as he eases up through the line, and that's never nice to see. 8:51 from him.
Come on, Mariani!
He's going to go sub 9 minutes. 8:57 from him.
Come on, Nat!
Jamie Knapp. Bad day for him, but as I said earlier, he's on his way back. At 9:13 for him as David Rigby comes through in just under 9:20, about a minute behind the leader.